Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. If you want to be in the 1%, you cannot act like the 99%. If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. Hello there, my name is Thomas Kralo and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now today, a super important topic, something that was asked of me on the social media for quite some time now. And that is, what would I tell a younger myself? So what if I would have seen myself when I was at the age of 15, 16 or something like that? What would I tell myself and what advice could I give to a younger person who is striving for success, for greatness, and for something that is a little bit more than an average life of a mortgage, a Honda Civic, a lease of a Honda Civic, and buying an iPhone, saving up for an iPhone, and just, paying off school debts and stuff like that. So that average life. So what would I tell somebody? The best advice that I could give to achieve a life that would be above this normal average level. And that is, there are quite a few things that I could tell and quite a few advices that I could give any one of you young guys who are looking to achieve something more than an average life. And to be honest, it seems like I could actually put together a separate course, like a learning program for trading that I have. And by the way, as always, a link to the best trading webinar in the world is down in the description. So if you're looking to learn about trading, then the link is down there. And I was thinking maybe I could, even create a course about the advices I could give for life in general. So where did I get all the knowledge that I'm about to share in this video? Did I come up with it myself? And the answer is obviously no. I have been inspired by quite a few other people, and the list is long, but most importantly is my mentor, the person who has taught me how to trade and welcomed me into the world of professional trading. And another person who has had quite a big influence on me and whom I've been following for quite a while is Dan Pena. And this is a very interesting individual, and he's just like myself. He speaks his mind, and I do respect him for that. And quite a lot of people respect me for me being as honest as I could possibly be in any topic that I'm discussing. So let's get to the tips that I would give a younger person, a younger me, or any younger person who is looking to achieve more than an average life. Number one will be always your friends. So this might seem quite simple, but show me your friends and I'll show you your future. A lot of people think, why is my life so bad? Look at people who are around you. Whom are you hanging out with? Whom are you spending your time with? Are those people below your intelligence and below your social level, or are they above your social level? Always surround yourself with people who are above. You can have friends that are just your childhood friends, and monetary things have nothing to do with it. But when we're talking about making new friends and surrounding yourself with business people, perhaps to escalate your personal growth, then this is incredibly important. It's simple, but it is incredibly important. Get rid of toxic relationships and get into more positive ones, and communicate with people whom you're looking up to. And you'll be surprised how much you will learn, and that will impact your future success 100%. Number two, and that is, you will never achieve more than you aspire to achieve. So if you aspire to achieve, let's say, an income of $100,000 per year, this is going to be your limit. We are the ones who actually put the limits for our own lives, and we are the ones who are limiting ourselves. Sure, there are certain, environmental issues and the things that surround us that wouldn't let us, jump into the status of a billionaire or a millionaire right away. However, our mentality is crucial, and if we are limiting our mentality, there is no open road for us. So the light will always be red. We will never get our green light, and we will never see that, green light across the whole Broadway, so to speak. So always start with aspiring for something crazy. If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. And I know that all of this is simple, and for example, it is simple for me, maybe it's not for you, but it is common sense. And when you are aspiring for something small and you say that, oh well, I couldn't achieve more, you will never achieve more. But when you actually blindly believe that you can do it, life will be throwing opportunities at you one by one. But we'll talk about it a bit later in this video as well. Number 3, I always do things that you don't want to do, that you know that you should do, so that you can get to the place where you want to be. And this is something that Dan Pena said as well. And I do believe it 100%. So this would be away from that, metaphorical part and into the real deal of just simply and bluntly hard work. So as for myself, I can afford many things, and I can afford to probably not work for the next 10 years and live a very comfortable life. However, I still work, I still aspire, I still move. There is still progress every single bloody day at this very table. So this is just how you should approach your life. You should do something that others don't want to do. If you want to be in the 1%, you cannot act like the 99%. This is just common sense. This is mathematics. This is statistics. So if I would be when I was younger, I would always, other kids would be just going to college, smoking weed, drinking beer. Well, I did some of that as well at some point, of course, but I would be aspiring to make some money in the process. There is a video about it, how I was making about $5,000 at the age of 18 and 19. And what I was doing, I was just hustling. So I was just buying and selling things. I was always on a lookout for a place where I could capitalize on my performance and on my cognitive capabilities as well as my physical capabilities. I was always looking for profit. And when you're always looking for profit, you will see the opportunities. And this means doing something that others don't. What do others do? They think, oh, well, I'm just gonna be just like everybody else. So I'm gonna go to college, and while I'm in college, I'm gonna be just another idiot in college, and I'm not gonna do anything extraordinary in college. So I'll just graduate with an okay diploma, and then I'm gonna get an okay job, and then I'm gonna complain that everybody who's got money and who is rich, that they're probably criminals and stealing money, which is sometimes it's true, but mostly, even nowadays, especially nowadays, it's actually not true. You can achieve a lot more than you could possibly believe. But of course, that means that you need to put in hard work, a lot of hours, and as Dan Pena said as well, it is bloody hard to be a high performance individual. But this is what it takes. It's not about, reading a million books per month, but it's about being out of the box and out of the usual modern average human being. It means being an overachiever, and that might mean different things in different segments and for different people. And of course, this whole video, it's subjective, so it's just my personal opinion, and I'm doing my best to share it with you so that I hope that it will be beneficial for as many of my viewers as possible. Then number 4, and this is an incredibly important one. This is something that about 99% get wrong, and that is you have to treat your money with respect. Now think about it. How many of you are wasting money on bullshit that you don't need? For example, constantly buying new iPhones. A new iPhone comes out, everybody is in the line to buy a new iPhone when he cannot even afford the things that he actually needs, like rent, food, and maybe some medicine for his sick mother or whatever, which is, all of it costs money, and we need that money. But people are in the line into the Apple store, and they want to get themselves a new iPhone for $1,500. For myself, I just recently gotten an iPhone 12 Pro, and before that I had an iPhone 10, and I would have still had an iPhone 10 if it wasn't for the fact that the camera was becoming garbage. And that's the video that I did previously about Apple being just a criminal organization, that they are actually reducing the quality of their product by, all the software updates. So if it wouldn't be for that, I would never get myself a new iPhone, as long as the one I had would be bloody functioning. Look. My MacBook, and I always talk about it. It's an old one, it's from 2015. It's still does everything that I want. It's not glitching. I mean, it's a lot better than the iPhone, so Apple did not do anything to it, thankfully, and thank you Apple Corporation for not doing anything to my MacBook. And guess what? I'm gonna have it until the day it dies. Why? I don't need a new one. It does what I need. Why should I go out and spend another $3,000? Now, let's talk about something that so many people do, and that is leasing a brand new car. It's like taking money into your hand, lighting a lighter, and just burning it. So it's absolutely freaking ridiculous. I don't understand why people do it. If you cannot afford a car, you cannot go and buy it with cash or whatever. Don't do it. Why are you leasing? You're paying an interest on the lease. You're buying a car that will depreciate just with a speed of a flying rock. I mean, it's just a free fall in terms of depreciation for 99% of brand new cars. Look at me. When I had my first $1 million, I did not have a car at all. I just used a taxi. I mean, I did not really need a car, so if you really need a car for living, for family, whatever, get yourself something reasonable, something that is reliable, something that is cheap to insure, something that is cheap to maintain, maybe some Japanese car. Don't go out, get yourself a huge Escalade that is just so horrible on gas, that is so expensive to maintain and expensive to insure, just to, because you want a Cadillac. With this kind of mentality, you will always, even if you make money, you will always piss it away and you will never have anything in your pocket and nothing to your name. It's just the way it is. How many of you go to Starbucks? How many of you make minimum wage or above minimum wage and you go to Starbucks every day and you pay like $5, $10 for a coffee? What's wrong with pouring a coffee at home into your, that thermos or whatever that thing is called, and just carry it with you? Oh, it's not comfortable. But how comfortable is it to waste so much of your money per year on just Starbucks alone? People don't think about it. It's the small things, We spend some money in the App Store. We spend some money in Starbucks. We spend some money, on the car insurance, and maybe some in iTunes, and then maybe we pay the credit for our iPhone. And then in the end of the day, you make $5,000 per month, which is amazing, but you're left with nothing, with a dick in your hands, basically, after you pay all the bills. Come on, humanity. And then people complain that they have nothing to their name. It's unbelievable. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to be financially educated, and not in terms of, having an, PhD in economics. It's having common sense. If you're making not that very much money, and certainly to get into business, if you want to create your wealth and increase your net worth year by year and have a chance of investing into a good project when the opportunity presents itself, it means that you have to have at least a little bit of money. So you need to be able to save up. So learn to save money. Just like myself in the very beginning, when I was getting into trading, I was so blessed by this business. I was happy that it was working. I couldn't give a shit about going and wasting money on something that I don't need. I had an okay apartment. I did have an okay life in general. We did eat good food. We did travel here and there, and we did spend some money. But I wasn't buying myself a Lamborghini. So this is the whole idea, and this is what people get wrong. Whenever somebody gets, $5,000 in inheritance or whatever, look what happens. It's pissed away in like a week. Why? Because people cannot deal with money. They just throw it away right away on bullshit that they don't need. Number 5, failure. A lot of people are afraid of failure, and they are mostly afraid of it not actually because of financial reasons, but they're mostly are afraid of it because they don't want to be ashamed of making the wrong choice. But guess what? You cannot measure progress without having failure. Therefore, don't be afraid of failure. Always be ready to go all in. Look at me. When it comes to trading, I did have a decent amount of failure in my life as well, and the life just does not happen. The progress does not happen without failure, because you need to learn. You're not born millionaires or billionaires. We become millionaires and billionaires and tech giants and good traders, etc. And for that to happen, you really need to have failures to be able to actually analyze your mistakes, learn and build that knowledge, and then later on capitalize on that knowledge. And as for myself, when my mentor came to me the first time to the United States when I was in New York, when I was going to college, and he said, listen, Thomas, if you really want to have a shot at your life, how about you quit everything that you're doing in the United States and you come live with me to Switzerland? I mean, who would do this? I mean, I barely knew the guy, and my mother introduced me to him, and she knew him for like 2 months or so. So it was completely ridiculous. But I said yes, because I was not afraid of failure, because I knew that if I want to be in the place where I'm going and where I am positioning myself, so the place that I'm aspiring to get to, I knew that I had to see the opportunities whenever life is throwing lemons in my bloody face, I have to just, take them off my face and make lemonade. So this is what I did. And I could have failed, and maybe, in some other universe I did fail in this endeavor, but I succeeded in this universe, in this endeavor. So for you to succeed, you need to take risks, and the risks that 99% will never do. And this is what differentiates us, the 1%, from the 99%. And it's not that very difficult. It's all in your head. Then is the number 6. And number 6 is the sacrifice. And this is something that I've briefly mentioned in number 5, and that is be ready to sacrifice things. So I had a life in the United States, I had friends, and basically my whole life was there in my business and my speculative business. But I was ready to sacrifice all of it. In an instant, I did not care. I was ready to go for something that had more potential. I could have lost everything. And then also sacrifice is being in the office 18 hours per day. And as Dan Pena has mentioned, look at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and etc. Elon Musk. All of these people, when they were at the verge of incredible, huge, multi-billion-dollar success, they were nobodies. They were sleeping in the office, working on the idea that will change the world, and they succeeded. They were not sitting there thinking about, how difficult life is. Oh no, everybody hates me, and all this stupid nonsense. They were in the office. They were living in the office. They made the sacrifice. Just like myself here. Once again, I can live many years happily without lifting a finger for, with what I have right now. But I'm still spending sometimes 12 hours, sometimes 18 hours at this very table in this very office. Why? Because I'm striving for more success. I'm the man of progress and performance, and I'm going into the sky. And I have new plans which will be discussed in this YouTube channel as well. So if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button right now. Then there is number 7, and number 7 is the law of attraction and all of that stuff that most of people don't believe in. But 99% of the super successful people do believe in it. So, and these are the things, and you can research them on Google. Those are the law of attraction. Those are the rules of the universe. Those are the positive vibrations and just the power of the thought itself, etc. So these things, and I'm not trying to sell you any, mentorship program or anything like that. I'm just telling you right away, this shit is real and it does work. Affirmations, belief system, the wish card, whatever you call it, I forget the name, which is right there on the closet, right there on the top of it. This is my wish card that I still adjust sometimes, and I do look at it. I do picture myself in those pictures, and each picture means something, and this is just the source of that positive emotion, generating those positive emotions, etc. So I still believe in all of this stuff. And by the way, let me know in the comments. I'll happily make more videos on all of these topics and maybe break them down in more detail, because there are a shit ton of details when it comes to this kind of stuff. So yeah, and this is something that you have. This is called mindset, and mindset is incredibly important. So whenever just a really simple example, and we'll move on to the next advice. So the person who is always saying everybody hates me, money is not for me, rich people are only criminals, and blah blah blah, etc., etc. So this is the person who is living in those really low vibrations. He's always negative, and his life just turns out to always be negative. But there are people who know how to use these tricks in the opposite direction. They always believe life is amazing, even if it's not. People love me, money loves me, and I love money. And this is one of the affirmations that I say each single bloody day. I love money and money loves me. And also things like I am happy, even if sometimes I'm not happy. I am this, I am that. So I'm affirming that this is my life. This is what I am, and this, I identify myself as this, somebody and something, and this mindset and state of mind is where I am at, even if I'm not there. And this helps me get there. It's just ridiculous how this works. So do practice these things and do believe in them, because I'm telling you, they're absolutely true. And lastly, advice number 8, and that is practice being successful. So for myself, and this is something that Dan Pena said as well, and many rich people that I know have said the same thing, and trust me, 99% of rich people do believe this stuff, and that is practice being successful. So you have to show the universe that you're already there. You just need to collect the money that is yours. And it's a paradox, but it works like magic. So if you don't have money for a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Ferrari, whatever, go to a Bentley dealership, sit in that Bentley, picture how you're driving out of this dealership with this Bentley, having bought it with cash. Be very specific, because otherwise, the universe might misunderstand you and it will just give you, a test drive of that Bentley on some random occasion. So imagine that you are bringing, bags of cash, or just swiping a platinum card and paying for that Bentley and just buying it like a box of chocolates. I don't know. So be very specific. Sit there in that car and make all those people in those fancy dealerships hate you for just sitting there like a monk in a Bentley. This is what it's called to be zoning in and becoming part of that successful life. The same thing goes for, and this is something that I've done myself. I've gone to Rolls-Royce dealerships, and just like Dan Pena, actually, I sat in Rolls-Royce and I always, I smelled it. And Dan Pena also said about smelling it, because we as humans, we have different sensations from our sight, our ears, so our hearing, our taste and smell, etc. So on. I know the smell of Rolls-Royce. The smell of Rolls-Royce is similar to the smell of Bentley. Those British, even though you'll tell me Rolls-Royce is BMW, whatever, But in general, those luxurious cars like Range Rover and Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari and Lamborghini, they have that distinct smell of completely different leather inside of their interior. And that leather was just my pinnacle of what success meant to me, at the time. Now the values change from time to time, but in general, I'm just trying to give you the idea and the picture of what means to practice being successful. I don't know, go onto the internet, find the most expensive house for sale, I don't know, maybe not the most expensive one, that costs far more than you can afford. Call the agent up and say, I'd like to take a look at it. Be that nasty guy and waste the guy's time, but go and view the house. Take a look at it, walk around, and imagine you're buying it. So you're the new buyer, you can afford it, and you're just looking at it. This is practice these things. It is incredible how this works. I mean, there are details in how I believe this works, but I don't know if anybody really knows how it works, but it works. And once again, let me know in the comments. I'll make maybe more detailed videos on how I believe this stuff works, to put in some, logical context into this whole stuff that I'm trying to tell you in this video. So, and this is the kind of belief system, this kind of mindset, and this kind of drive for success and high performance is what led me to where I am today. Okay, maybe I'm not Dan Pena with $50+ billion, but I'm not there yet. and I will be there. Because I remember at some point I had this belief that, everything is bad. I will have to, become a lawyer and make maybe 100K per year. I'm paying off my student loans. And so I'll be just that, maybe a little bit above average. And that's where life was leading me. It was giving me these opportunities which would lead me exactly to the place that I was theoretically aspiring for. And it was just being an okay lawyer in the United States, making 100+ K a year, which is not bad, but if you factor in all the taxes, expenses, blah, 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 it just becomes, quite boring, just average. So, and then I was starting to discover this mentality, and it was really hard for me to believe all this stuff. But and then when Sophia came into my life, and soon to be my wife, she did give me that huge kickstart and just give me so much information in terms of all of this belief system that I'm just currently skyrocketing just to the moon. But when I was just beginning to believe in this stuff and I started practicing some of these things, my life started taking unexpected turns. And don't expect it to be fast. It's not gonna be fast. There's nothing fast about it. Thomas said it, I should practice affirmations, so I'm gonna write out those affirmations. I'm gonna sit there, practice them for 2 days, and then I'm gonna be pissed off that $1 million wasn't left at my doorstep. This is not how it works. It's hard work. It's just bloody freaking hard work. So when I started doing all of this stuff and practicing all of these things in the way that I knew how to practice them, which wasn't, the best practices, but they still worked, but they worked within about 12 months. And that's when, so 1 year, it took 1 year for me to see any real result. And that was the day when I met my mentor. The guy who said, Thomas, how about you come to Switzerland just randomly, live with me, and I'll show you the ropes of the financial markets. And you'll have the potential of making $1 million or so per year or more, depending on the trading style and strategy that you select. So on that day, when I realized, and then when I'm still remembering this stuff, it's like I won the lottery. But was I just lucky? Or was it just because of my mentality and I attracted this into my life and I saw this opportunity? If I were to be so focused on my lawyer job, I would have perhaps said no to this guy. And that's why I always say that regardless of how bad your life is always giving you at least some kind of opportunity, maybe small, but for you it would be a big opportunity, and you would still say no to it because you're too bloody focused on your negative affirmations and your negative beliefs about your own life and this whole universe and existence in general. That's unfortunately how most people live. And when I realized that this is how the law of attraction, this whole mentality worked for me, I was almost in tears. And of course, within the next 6 months, I learned how to trade in Switzerland. And within 24 months, approximately after that, I made my first million. So I had a million physically in my account. Trading account, personal account, does not matter. But I became a millionaire. So it took me about 3.5 years from the moment of starting to believe and practice all of this stuff to becoming a millionaire. And I set my goals at about 10 million, 15 million, etc. And that's where I was going. And if I would not have spent a lot of money in my life, then perhaps I would have been there, which I'm a little bit below. But currently, I'm never stopping to exercise all of these things. I do breathing exercises. I've quit drinking. I've quit smoking. I'm trying not to use any swear words, which is quite difficult in my life, but I'm trying. So I'm really going into those positive vibrations until this day. And believe me, this currently is taking me to the new heights. And this project of teaching people how to trade is just the beginning. That active type of trading that is just so much stress in it, but a lot of money as well. But it was my first step towards the new goals. And the new goal right now is the mark of 100 million. So unfortunately, it's quite difficult to reach that mark with active trading, being at the trading desk all the time and trading futures and maybe day trading stocks. That's quite difficult to reach that kind of number. So I need to move on to other projects and diversify my income sources and work on quite a few things, which the amount of ideas that I have right now and the projects that are in the process is just incredible. And they are not just ideas, they are amazing multi-million-dollar projects right here on this table. And one of which is the trading education, which is one of the best trading education, the materials and the courses and the learning programs in the world right now. It's one of the best, if not the best. So, and it's just exploding. It's a huge success. So many people are using my knowledge that I've shared in the learning programs and are making good, sustainable money in an explainable way. And this is fueling me with even more energy and more power to keep going and, having those even higher levels of positive vibrations. So it's just spiraling out of control. It's just like a nuclear explosion, and that's how it's just an infinite progression. It starts off slow, but then it just goes into the sky. Believe me and mark my words that within the next 36 months, so 3 years, I will reach the mark of $100 million. It's guaranteed. It's not even up for discussion. It's coming and it's working. And this is how I've done it. And this is the general advice that I could give to a young myself or to a young aspiring individual. Use this information. It's very, very valuable. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos. Click that subscribe button. There's gonna be a lot more interesting stuff coming out. Cheers. See you later.